Have you ever noticed that the more you defend yourself, the more people twist your words? That fighting for justice often makes you look desperate, while the real offenders walk away untouched. The truth is, silence is a weapon, and karma never forgets. Stay with me. This will change your perspective. When someone spreads lies about you, the most instinctive reaction is to defend yourself, to prove your innocence, to correct the record. But here's what most people don't realize. Defending yourself only gives more energy to the lie. The more you react, the more it fuels the falsehood. Because people don't necessarily believe in truth. They believe in the most compelling story. And when you defend yourself passionately, you make the story seem bigger than it actually is. You give the liar exactly what they wanted: attention, drama, and the illusion of credibility. Instead of reacting, allow time to reveal the truth. The people who believe lies about you without questioning them were never truly on your side to begin with. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." And that is the standard to hold yourself to. When you stay silent in the face of lies, you rob the liar of their power. You strip them of the emotional reaction they seek. Lies have an expiration date, but truth is timeless. The longer you remain detached, the more obvious it becomes who was honest and who was deceitful. Silence, in this case, is not weakness. It is control. It is the most powerful response you can give to those who thrive on manipulation. Betrayal is one of the most painful experiences anyone can endure, and the first instinct is to demand explanations, to force the betrayer to acknowledge their wrongdoing. But here's the harsh truth. A betrayer has already justified their actions in their mind. They have already convinced themselves that what they did was necessary, excusable, or even your fault. No amount of reasoning will change that. If you try to make them understand the damage they caused, they will twist your words. If you try to make them feel guilty, they will make you the villain. And so, the only true response to betrayal is silence. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Betrayal is one of those trials. It forces you to reassess, to grow, to strengthen your boundaries. The pain is not just suffering, it is a lesson. The most valuable thing betrayal teaches you is to never give a second chance to someone who already showed you their true nature. The best response to a betrayer is to simply disappear. No explanations, no confrontation, no second chances. And the absence of your presence will speak louder than anything you could have said. They will feel the weight of their actions, not through words, but through the void you leave behind. When someone insults you, whether subtly or openly, the immediate temptation is to respond, to defend, to fire back with an equally sharp remark. But the moment you react, you give them what they wanted: control over your emotions. They weren't looking for a conversation, they were looking for a reaction. And by engaging, you've let them dictate your mood, your energy, your state of mind. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." When someone insults you, they expect a response. They expect anger, defensiveness, a need to prove yourself. But when you meet their insult with silence, with calmness, with an unshaken expression, you strip them of their power. They are left standing alone with their words, which now sound hollow and desperate. Think of a time someone made a passive-aggressive remark toward you. If you ignored it, they likely felt uncomfortable, maybe even embarrassed, because they expected conflict. They wanted validation for their negativity. When you deny them that validation, you deny them the satisfaction of seeing you flustered. Your silence forces them to confront their own bitterness, their own insecurity, and that is far more powerful than any comeback you could have given. There are people who thrive on playing the victim. No matter what happens, they twist the situation so they appear as the one who was wronged. It doesn't matter what the actual events were. Their goal isn't truth. It's sympathy, attention, and an escape from accountability. The more you try to explain yourself, the more they use your words against you. Epictetus said, "To complain is always non-productive." And that is exactly how victimhood operates. It is not about resolving anything. It is about shifting blame. People who constantly paint themselves as the victim are not looking for solutions. They are looking for an audience. They want people to believe their story. And the more you argue with them, the more you make them look credible. The solution? Let them talk. Let them create their narrative. Let them say whatever they need to say. Because in the end, people notice patterns. A person who always plays the victim in every situation eventually loses credibility. Their own behavior exposes them over time. And when you refuse to engage, when you don't fight back, when you don't defend yourself, you allow their manipulation to collapse under its own weight. Being undervalued is one of the most frustrating experiences, whether in relationships, friendships, or at work. You put in the effort, you show up, you give, and yet you receive indifference in return. The instinct is to try harder, to prove your worth, to demand appreciation. But here's the truth. The more you try to prove your value, the less valuable you appear. People don't appreciate what is always available. They don't respect what they believe they will never lose. When someone ignores your worth, the worst thing you can do is beg for their recognition. Instead, withdraw. Remove your presence, and let the silence do the work. Seneca said, "Time discovers truth." And in this case, time reveals the real relationships, the real connections. The people who truly valued you will notice your absence. They will reach out. The ones who never cared will not. And that is all the answer you need. Let silence be your filter. There are individuals who thrive on provoking others. They say things just to get a reaction, just to throw you off balance, just to pull you into their negativity. And when you respond, when you argue, when you defend, when you get angry, you have given them exactly what they wanted. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The only way to defeat someone who seeks to provoke you is to refuse to engage. When you stay calm, when you remain unaffected, when you look at them with indifference, you take away their control. They expect rage, you give them nothing. And that nothingness, that silence, frustrates them more than anything you could have said. There comes a moment when the people who took you for granted realize what they lost. But by then, it is too late. If someone truly valued you, they would never have put themselves in a position to lose you in the first place. Regret only comes when the silence becomes unbearable. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Walking away and staying gone is the greatest form of self-mastery. When someone reaches out, full of apologies, full of regret, you do not respond. You do not open the door. Because true strength is not improving your worth. It is in knowing when to stop giving your energy to those who never deserved it. Absence speaks louder than words. When you are no longer accessible, when your energy is no longer freely given, when your silence becomes their only memory of you, that is when they truly feel the loss. That is when karma does its work. And that is when they realize the real lesson. Once you are gone, you are gone.